Welcome to Y Space.
Hi, guys.
Hello, hello, and welcome to Kansas City, everyone.
Yay, Mandy's moved.
True. It's true. Last night we went to the Justin Reed Foundation celebrity softball game.
And the
Like,
pictures looked like it was so much fun.
it was great. Let's see, Justin Reed, obviously, and Trey Smith co-hosted it. It used to be MBS's event, and I guess he kind of just took it over since he got. So we had them. Let's see, Rasheed Rice was supposed to be there. It was like confirmed on their site, but then we didn't see my man. Maybe he got pulled over on the way. I don't know. No, I don't know.
We hope.
But our new friend from Wells,
Yeah.
I don't know how we say his name. Louis? I think it's Louis.
Louis is how we're going to say it.
I'm a fan, Louis. Let me tell you about this dude. Okay, so the guy like emceeing the game talks to him before he gets up to bat for his first time. He's like, "So, you've played softball, baseball before?" And he's like, no, actually, this is my first time to hold a baseball bat." And the guy was like,
Awesome.
"Oh." Okay, so the first time he gets up and I think he struck out, best I can recall. And so the guy asked him, he's like, "So it's kind of tough." And he's like, "We'll see the next round." So next round comes up and they put him at first base. And I was like, I guess they really trust he can catch. And he did really well. Like, those dudes were
I
not
feel
getting
like
the
you
ball
prefer
right
me
to
in
him.
the field.
Yeah, it was good. He is as nice looking in person as portrayed. Nice looking young man. Anyway, he gets up to bat the second time, home run. And he proceeds the next 3 innings. He hit 3 or 4 home runs.
Oh my gosh.
First time dude's ever touched the bat. And so I was like, okay, you could pretty much do anything. Clearly.
Clearly, you just have to be athletic.
But let me tell you about his base running. He stole a lot of bases. He was running so fast I couldn't see him at one point. I am so pumped to watch this dude play football.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it was mind-blowing. Yeah, super, super good. I'm trying to think who else was really fun. Trey Smith was the nicest human on earth.
Yeah.
Like, there was these lines along the field after the game where all these kids, well, and adults, were in line to get autographs, and most of the guys signed everybody in their section. I will say Justin Reed, he skipped a big section, which Judd was in. But they were towards the end, and he had 2 women with him, and I think I heard him at one point say, "My wife really is ready to go." So I'll give him a little grace. But Trey Smith, he had lines from the field all the way to the top of the bleachers in 5 different sections, and he literally signed everyone's stuff, talked to him, took pictures. He had like a full out conversation with Judd. So nice. They were great though. I'm trying to think who else was really great. Oh, Nick Bolton. He was late. I don't know. My dude must have got caught in traffic. I don't know. But he showed up and he was super great to everyone. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was at where the Monarchs play.
Okay.
I don't really understand what that is because it's not minor league baseball, but it's also not like a feeder system. I think it may be kind of like the Savannah Bananas. They're not like
Okay.
they're not like a feeder system, but there's a lot of history with the Monarchs. They were like one of the first teams in the Negro Leagues back in the way back days.
Okay.
And so they have a lot of memorabilia. It was a really neat stadium, though. And yeah, it was fantastic, though.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we had a blast kicking off our tour de Kansas City. So
There you go. It's fun that there's all those things that you can go to, though. Like, you have options when you want to. Some nights you just want to be in the house, but some nights you want to go out and do something.
Yeah. Last night I wanted to be in the house. I'm not going to lie to you. But it was good. It was good. We survived. I had some ice cream, which I didn't need, as we know, but yeah, it was that kind of night.
Sometimes you do need it.
Yeah. But it was really great. It was offense against defense. I will say, I'm going to call you out, Kansas City offense. Like, y'all didn't show up for your boys. Like, there were no big names on the offense. Trey, Louis was popular just because he's new and attractive. But other than that, like, no big names. Now, the defense, they had enough to field like 5 teams.
Wow.
Spagnola was there. Spags was there.
Oh,
So
that's
cute.
awesome.
But yeah, I was a little disappointed though, especially because they said on their social media site that like Travis said last year that he would be there this year.
Yeah, didn't go.
He's
And
getting
you know
tickets.
they were all in town because there was supposed to be a practice yesterday. So
Yeah, so let's talk a little sports news. We'll start with our beloved Chiefs. BJ Thompson, who is a backup on defense and special teams, it sounds like yesterday in a team meeting had a seizure and went into cardiac arrest. The last I checked on Twitter, of course, the only source of truth in the world. Sounds like perhaps he may still be unconscious, but that his vitals looked good and he was stable. But I will say at the beginning of the game, they had Marcellus Casey, I think is his name, who's the team chaplain. They had him come out and they did a moment of silence and prayed for
yeah,
him. And I'm not going to speculate, obviously, but I will say his prayer was worded in a concerning way. I'll just say that.
yeah,
So I don't know what's going on with him, but super terrifying. And they, I guess it was like in a special team, so they canceled OTAs yesterday. I was wondering if they were going to cancel the game last night because they were
yeah,
not making any public appearances, but I think probably because it was for a charity thing, and they
yeah.
ended up raising I think 300,000 just at the
Wow.
yeah, and they only had 2 auction items. No, 1. They had 1 auction item and it didn't raise more than like 5K. So that's probably why they went ahead and had it, but yeah, super scary.
Yeah,
We met him when we were at that Dolphins game where it was, 4,000 below. He was one of the ones that came to the sidelines and, like, signed autographs and took pictures. So, so nice. So,
yeah,
not that you want that to happen to anyone, but not a nice
right.
guy. So,
Yeah,
I don't
especially
know.
so young and seemingly healthy. It's just a scary thing. So
Just don't know.
thoughts
I
and
don't know.
prayers.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you just a lot of weird things happening. It makes me think of the Bronny James situation, but it also I just said this to Aaron this morning. It makes me want to be super vigilant about the programs and types of coaches and facilities we put Judd in sports at because,
Yeah,
let's face it, if these guys hadn't been at top-notch places, you just don't know. Like, and we've
yeah,
heard of that happening before where there may not have been a defibrillator on site or something like that.
right.
So, like, we're trying to pick a football program for Judd to get into here because there's about 487 million.
I bet.
Uh, and honestly, one of the ones I'm looking at is a little further away, but it's super top notch. And
Yeah,
nowadays you just never know what could happen.
right. You have to be prepared for all of it.
Um, but let's talk a little NFL on better or happier news.
Yes.
Now Christian McCaffrey, I realize that you have cut him from your team. But apparently the 49ers felt a little different than you this week and they went
I
ahead and
mean,
gave him a few dollars.
good
Few
for
pennies.
good for him for getting that.
Yeah. Good thing Becca wasn't in charge. Dude would have been gone.
You'd be so bad at this.
Um, I think it's I guess you don't feel this way, but I think it's well deserved. But I know I just put in the notes like NFL contracts, McCaffrey and Justin Jefferson. I didn't even write down the amounts because I think I told you this. Like, I hear these numbers now and like it doesn't even mean anything to me
Yeah,
anymore. I'm
they're
just
just
like,
made up at this point.
what? And I get it, I guess, to an extent. They definitely put their bodies on the line. Clearly, things can happen.
Right.
They're bringing a lot of money into their teams, their cities, and their league. But in the grand scheme of things, shouldn't we be paying people like our soldiers or our police something like that? Our
Yeah.
teachers,
I
something.
always think like to us normal people in the corporate working world, like a $10,000 pay increase is wild. Like you're
Well,
pumped.
yeah.
You think these guys sit on the sidelines and they're waiting for a couple million that they're talking? Like I don't
Mhm.
know how my brain could actually compute that that's a reality if I was in that situation.
No, I was just telling you, like, I got a bonus today, like an annual performance bonus, and it was a certain amount of money, which was not enough to buy a box of like Oreos, but after taxes, I couldn't even like pay for the gas to get the Oreos. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't even get it. But hey, I do think it's interesting. I mean, I don't know that I would say Justin Jefferson is I don't know. What do you think? I was going to say I don't know that I would call Justin Jefferson the best receiver in the NFL today. Would you?
No.
I don't
He's
think
good,
I would either.
but not the best.
I, and I say that saying like what would it be like if he was playing with Patrick or somebody like that? I don't know. Although Kirk Cousins is super consistent. So I don't know. Um But my dude makes a lot of money now, and he held out, which, hey, if you can hold out, do it. So it turns out I did write this down. He's going to make about 35 million a season. Now Marvin Harrison Jr., who's a rookie who just got drafted, is going to make 35.3 over 4 years, which is still
a lot.
I mean, a lot of money. But I just think of it like in the grand scheme of things, like it just it's like everybody wants to one up. It's like, okay, Justin signed this contract. So now you've got guys like that are holding out, right? You got CD Lamb's holding out, Brandon Ayuk's holding out. Both of you, like, what? I mean, CD, like, yes, we can go ahead and blame Dak if you want, but also Justin Jefferson got paid being thrown to by a backup all last season.
Right. Yeah. But I think when you start giving all these guys these higher numbers, you are resetting the market. So now
to what end? Like, how do we stop? Or like, can we?
It won't.
Well, I guess money is so foreign to me. I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't stop? Like,
because if you just think about it, these guys that are making bukus of money, the longer they stay, the more they're making. Yeah. So then when you have these new guys come in, maybe they don't have as many years of experience, but your market's way up here. So you at least got to bring them in at a decent chunk. But at some point, something has to give because you can't keep raising ticket prices to games. You can't keep doing all of these things because then you're going to lose your fans. Yeah. So maybe that's why they're doing all of these deals with the streaming services because it's bringing in more money to be able to funnel to the teams to keep up with all these salaries. Because every year that salary cap gets higher and higher.
Yeah, I don't know. So our friend Tyreek Hill, and by friend I mean neither one of us have met him, but you know, he left the Chiefs.
Run in the same circles ever.
No. And I don't think I want to in case something goes awry. Like, I mean, I'm just saying. But you know, the thing about Tyreek, and we've talked about this a lot before, you know, he left the Chiefs, and I don't know the numbers, but I guess the way it ended up working out, he left the Chiefs for more money, but it really wasn't a substantial amount. Missed out on several Super Bowl rings now and potentially even more to go to the Dolphins. And now he's saying like he's not going to chase that money because that's not good for the team, and he wants to retire a Dolphin. Like, are we saying that, my guy, because that's really how you feel? Or are we saying that because, like, you already realized you totally screwed the pooch when you went to the Dolphins? Like,
doesn't he only have 2 more years left on his contract? I guarantee you in 2 years, you're going to be out there asking for more money. So.
He's going to be somewhere else. I'm guaranteeing. Like, but it's mind blowing. But, you know, hey. And then you do, like we said, there's several guys still holding out, but some of the bigger names are CD Lamb and Brandon Ayuk, who have not come to OTAs because they want bigger deals. They want more money. You know, Brandon Ayuk, that situation with the 49ers is weird between he and Deebo Samuel. It's like, I swear every other day it's a new story.
Yeah.
One day they're getting traded. The next day they're coming out saying, oh no, we're here forever. Then the next day they're holding out. Like Deebo, it's kind of settled down, but Brandon, I think he's going to be gone.
Probably. So here's what I don't understand about CD. He's in his 5th year rookie contract.
Mm-hmm. Right. This is it.
Which I didn't realize. So if you're still under contract for this current football year, don't you need to be at practices? Well, like, is it your deal for like 2025 and after?
I guess this kind of goes to the conversation, like I said, that we keep having this whole, like, are we chasing money or are we chasing rings? Because I'm also like, it's what we've said about the Cowboys for a year now. Y'all got all the pieces, but you can't finish the job. So wouldn't you want to
be some strategy there on CD's part? Because your whole team is leaving after this year.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a full rebuild.
So surely there's some strategy thinking on his side. Like, I'll either hold out for more money so that at least I'm financially set when this thing goes kaput next year. Yeah. Or I'll be a big enough pain that they'll trade. And then I'm out. I don't have to worry about it.
I also wonder, I mean, there has to be strategy to it, I would assume, although it feels like on this side of the world, it just feels like greed. But I'm assuming there's got to be some kind of strategy to it to say, like, hey, I know at the end of the season, they're burning this whole place down and starting over. So I'm going to be somewhere else. But I want to be at a price point that when I go there, I can demand at least that or more. I'm guessing it has something to do with that. But if I'm an owner or a coach, I'm not looking for the guy that like isn't going to show up.
Right.
Like and I get it. Like your mama doesn't like Dak, whatever. But like, don't you still need to show out and prove your worth?
Right. I think there's such a fine line between getting what you are worth, because I do think these guys sometimes have to go fight for themselves to get what they're worth. Otherwise, teams will take advantage of that so they don't have to spend the money. Yeah. But I think there's also that line of like, there's only so much you can keep asking for. And then you're literally taking money away that they can't go and buy you a good, offensive lineman or quarterback that you're going to need. Like, then we have no monies to go get a good one. So I think that you've got to be conscious of how much you're asking for and how you're structuring that contract, because there's different ways they can structure that then it doesn't hit caps. And obviously we don't know what all that means, but it is interesting that this year there seems to be a lot of those holdouts for bigger names.
I just think too, when you get to like a reputation of being problematic, does that hurt you? Because in mixing our entertainment world, it makes me think of Katherine Heigl. Not that Katherine Heigl like went out asking for a lot of money. Maybe she did. I don't know. But, she got this reputation, which she says was not was not deserved. But she got this reputation that she was not good to work with.
Right.
That people, like, she was mean and people didn't like her. I've seen her on the actors and actors thing with Ellen Pompeo, which Ellen didn't act like she felt that way about her, but she asked her about it. And, she has said in several interviews that she doesn't think that's warranted. And in a random situation, a family situation, I have met and know her, and I don't think she's mean, but I've not worked with her.
Right.
But I will say she hasn't worked a lot since then.
Yeah.
I mean, she was on Suits for like a wee thing, but like, so I think that too about CD and guys like, I mean, you think about like Antonio Brown. He got so problematic where dude could probably go out today and still catch a lot of touchdowns and ain't nobody touching him.
Teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how it all plays out. I'm hoping that the standard is set by Hollywood Brown.
I hope so.
Because, he could go out and chase gazillions, right? Mm-hmm. And he did go get a little bit more money, but he didn't take the highest offers he had because he wanted to come play for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Which, thank you, sir. We appreciate you. But, like, I hope that kind of sets the example.
Yeah.
I hope that he has, like, this amazing season that proves, like, this is a way to do it.
But I think you're fighting an uphill battle with that because of how big NIL money is in college. So these kids are getting bukus here. So now when they go to the professionals, they're expecting even more on top of that.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I think that mentality has to start much younger of like, you need to do this for the love of the game and winning champion. Yeah, absolutely. Get your paycheck. Get what you're worth.
Yeah.
But your focus also needs to be on getting championships for these teams.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, well, we know how I feel about the NIL. I do think that, these guys, they can have like a career-ending injury in a split second.
Right.
So I do get that. And I do agree with like these insurance policies they take out on themselves and teams take out on them.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. Like, take care of yourself. But I don't know. Like, at some point, I still go back to, and again, clearly no one has tried to pay me much money to do anything. But I still go back to, I want to win.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to win at anything. Like, I don't care if we're playing.
A lot of them, too, have written into their contracts, like, if you get to the championship, like, whatever, you get X amount of money. If you get to the Super Bowl, you get X amount of money. If you win the Super Bowl, you get X amount of money. So you can still potentially make all of this extra money just by winning games. Yeah. And I think maybe sometimes that gets lost because obviously only one team can win. We get that. But if you're on that winning team, if you're adding to it, you're still making your bank.
This team. Yeah. Well, and I think too, I mean, I want to do some more research on this because this season was the first season I really heard about it, and I just heard about it this week. The NFL Players Association, so the NFLPA, apparently players also earn money based on how much they bring into the league through the NFLPA. Because I saw an article about Jason Kelsey got a pretty substantial amount of money. And then Patrick and Travis both are, I think all three of them are in the top 5 earners from the NFLPA. And I've never even heard of that. I don't even know what that means, that they got money from them. So
I wonder how you bring money into the NFLPA.
I don't know. Now, those are 3 guys I could see. Yeah, it makes sense.
Absolutely. Like, those are some of the biggest faces of NFL.
So I want to do some research on that to find out what it means. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. We're getting so close to, we're like, what are we, like 90 days now? 90?
Maybe less than 90.
Can't wait.
Listen, mandatory mini camps started this week and next week.
I know.
So
it's happening.
There.
It's happening.
Yep.
Let's talk a little basketball. I don't know if you know, the NBA playoffs are still going on.
Listen, apparently game 1 was last night. I turned on the TV and I was like, what?
Yep. So we got the Mavericks and the Celtics.
Cool.
Like I didn't even put it in the show notes because we really don't like the NBA. We don't care, but it just makes me giggle that like it's still happening. Like
I started watching it. I watched like the first, I don't know, quarter, half, whatever they call it in the NBA. Every basketball team does it different.
Yeah.
I was watching it and Boston was blowing out Dallas. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I heard Dallas is supposed to be like the favored one or everybody wants them to win.
Yeah.
I didn't watch much beyond like the first 20 minutes. So, but I'm pretty sure they lost.
Oh yeah, they did. There were 2 interesting facts I was going to bring up. Yes, the Mavericks are projected to win it all. Luka,
love him. He seems fun.
Whatever. I don't know how you say his name. I will say he's amazing. And he seems like he has a really funny personality. We saw the Mavericks play in person last March. Not the one we just had, but the March before, 2023.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy watching him in person. He is so slow. And I'm just like, what are we doing? But he leads the stats in every category other than block shots in the playoffs. Steals, assists, rebounds, and points.
Wild.
And he looks like he's lazy as hell.
Yeah. And I saw a clip of him at a press conference. He answered 3 questions back to back, all in 3 different languages.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I thought it was funny. Somebody,
how intelligent you have to be for your mind to process that.
I saw it was funny in one of the press conferences. I think it was last week. One of the reporters asked him about, like, you know, did you grow up as a kid waking up and like to watch the NBA championships? Because he's from like Slovenia or something. And he laughed. He said, he was like, it was 4 a.m. I had to go to school. Like, he's like, no, I didn't care. I thought that was awesome. The other thing I thought was funny is, you know, Kyrie Irving is playing for the Mavericks and maybe he's going to get a ring again. We'll see. But I saw 2 things. LeBron said that he was bummed he's not playing with Kyrie. And, you know, they're saying that LeBron may leave the Lakers. I don't think he's going to. It sounds like Anthony Davis is instead, but we'll see how it all plays out. But I think he wants to play with Kyrie one more time. But they were saying, so Jason Tatum that plays for the Celtics, his little boy Deuce, who's like his literal replica, is at everything. He's so cute. He's so tiny. But he like gets out on the court and warm-ups and plays with everybody. And he's just the cutest thing ever. But they're saying that even Deuce Tatum has made it to the NBA finals more than Kyrie Irving.
Listen.
I was like, poor guy. But it's true.
True.
But in a basketball league that we actually care about, the WNBA.
Yes.
First of all, funny story for the audience. Yesterday I was talking to someone and Judd had my cell phone and he decided to go into the ESPN app and create a WNBA fantasy league and invited Becca via text on my phone without me knowing. And then he comes to me and says, Mommy, I set up a WNBA fantasy league draft for, I don't even know when it is. And I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, and I invited Becca. And I was like,
Yeah.
how? And he was like, I just texted her. And I was like, oh, okay. So by the time I look at it, Becca's like, already signed up. And I'm like, apparently we're doing this. So I'm kind of excited. I need to figure out what my we'll let y'all know how it goes. So
oh shoot. Yeah.
For reference, Judd did beat Becca in the NFL league. So
not just beat, he slaughtered me. It was not even close.
My man is very into stats and like sometimes he tells me gambling odds and I get nervous about his future, but whatever.
Sometimes you would text me things that he was saying about his players when I was trying to figure out like who I need to bench and stuff. And I was like, I don't know that I've ever looked that much into a player. I'm like, is the vibe right this week? What am I feeling?
I don't know. Like it's amazing. But as usual, we have got a lot of drama in the WNBA. Now listen, we know how it is to be a girl. We both are. And it can breed some animosity and some drama. And the WNBA is apparently no different than the rest of us. I mean, where do you even want to start? So much.
There's a lot. Well, off the top of my head, I'm just thinking about the tweet that Angel put out. Was it yesterday? About how you guys are harassing. Just found out a teammate was harassed getting off the bus.
Yeah.
And it was Trinity Carter. Is that her name?
Yeah, the one that dropped her shoulder on Caitlin Clark out of like nowhere. Was not a basketball play at all.
Did you see the video clip of her being harassed? Did you watch it?
I don't think I did. I just saw the news that allegedly she had been.
It's literally just a man with his phone. I don't know if he was like with a magazine or like a sports network. I'm not sure who he was. Literally just standing there with his phone, not moving. And Trinity Carter is walking into their hotel with, I guess, one of their bodyguards who's like got his arms up, making a huge scene. And this guy's just standing there like, have you reached out to Caitlin to apologize, or have you said anything to Caitlin? Like, he was asking it so respectfully. And that's what they were saying was harassment. And I was like, you guys want all the focus on you. This is what every athlete gets. They're going to be people from news outlets standing outside of your hotels, outside of your buses, asking questions. He didn't harass you. He wasn't trying to get to you. He was literally standing there asking a question. And they need to get over themselves.
I've seen where Angel has said, like, if somebody has to be the villain, she's willing to play it. Like, honey, you didn't have to let us know. I mean, I'm so disappointed. Like, I wasn't the biggest Angel Reese fan coming in general. I mean, she's just her style of play, because I'm not currently a basketball player, but back in my heyday, I was a basketball player. I just don't like her style of play. It has nothing to do with her as a human or anything like that. I just don't. But now I don't like the human side of her. And so that's not helping at all for my love or dislove of her. But my favorite thing that has been said, I love Dawn Staley. We both do. The coach at South Carolina and former NBA or WNBA player. And I'm trying to find it on my phone because I took a picture of it. Here it is. She was on the 670 Score show the other day, I think maybe even yesterday. And she said, I want women's basketball to grow, and I'm not too shy about saying why it grows. This is in reference to Caitlin Clark. She's made it grow over the past 2 years. Caitlin Clark is the sole reason why viewership has shot through the roof for our game. Sole reason. And here's the thing. It's true. And now we know you're down on Caitlin right now. But I'll be honest.
Way back up for me.
I'll be honest. Caitlin's style of play is not my favorite either. I mean, she's phenomenal. She's, in my mind, far better than Angel Reese could ever try to be. But even her style of play is not my favorite. But it goes back to what we've said about Taurasi and all these people. I don't get it. All this beef between the rookies and the veterans, Cameron Brink wants to say that it's not real. I don't think it is real at the Sparks where she is. Right. I don't think she's facing it. But she can't be the voice for the league and say that's not the situation, because you see clips constantly of this happening. And I mean, even when, what's her name? I'm terrible with names. The girl that did the shoulder drop on Caitlin Clark. Yeah. Even when she did that, Not one person on Caitlin's team came to her defense.
No.
And for me, that to me tells me everything right there.
Yep.
And I think that that is a really bad sign. I think that to me, that reflects on the Fever coaches, though.
100%.
Not that you need to teach your team like a mob mentality, which they are clearly teaching in Chicago with the Sky, but that's not what you have to do. But like, that's your teammate,
right?
Like, and also, she's the reason you are making money.
Yeah,
Like,
the one that went to like reach out her hand and help Caitlin get up off the ground, like you were right there. I'm not asking you to go and throw a left hook, but at least get in the girl's face and tell her to back off. Like, you guys didn't protect anybody on that team.
You know, we all know that my deep love and affection for the U.S. women's national team soccer team. And they played a prequel this week with Korea.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up winning, of course. But one of my favorite stories that came out of it was there's a 16-year-old girl, which I still can't even wrap my head around this. 16-year-old girl, Lily. I'm gonna go Johannes, maybe. Yeah. She became the third youngest player to ever score for the U.S. women's national team and the first at her age since 1982, which is a year before I was born. I'm old. Let me tell you something. In this game, it was an exciting game to watch. But when she came out there, I want to say the score was, I guess it was 1-0 at that point. It could have been 2. No, I think it was 1. It was 1-0. So they sub in. She comes in. She makes this goal. It was a phenomenal goal too, like a very complicated, very technical move that she made. That entire team, benches cleared, like all these veterans, like Lindsay Horan, Alex Morgan, all these veterans, all of them flood onto the field. Coaching staff, everyone. There was not one single player, even Trinity Rodman, who I'm not the biggest fan of, and she has a major attitude. She actually made the assist to this girl for the goal. Even her, they were like embracing, jumping up and down. Some of the older, Lindsay Horan, who's the captain, who's been playing forever, was crying. So, like, tell me how we can have that, but then we've got the Angel Reese situation. Like,
because you're not playing for, you're literally just out there playing for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, listen, y'all, we're all about watching women's sports. I'm encouraging you yet, as always, watch the U.S. women's national team. They're amazing. And they understand what it means to, first of all, represent our country, which, we're super patriotic. Yes. But also, like, the camaraderie. And there's been issues with the U.S. women's national team. There was an issue where one of the players made a statement about some, we'll just say, like, sexual orientation stuff and went completely against some of the lifestyles of some of the other players, and some of the captains like Alex Morgan and Lindsay had to come out, who are not of that whatever orientation. I don't even know what to say to be polite, but they came out and said, hey, that's not us. We don't do that. Like, we don't make those statements. We don't have those opinions. We don't, that there's no place on this team for that. And you know what? Right. Beef squashed.
Done.
Moving on. Like, because we're grown adults.
That's why that just shows a different level of maturity, though.
Yeah.
I just honestly, I think, I don't even want to say this rookie class in the WNBA, because I do think that you have some extremely mature women that have come into the WNBA that have done really well. They know how to get in the media and speak. But there is a group that just, I don't think they have the maturity level yet through college. And then now you're out on your own with money thrown at you, deals thrown at you, media asking you questions, and they just need to learn how to maybe process some things internally and learn how to answer questions without telling us everything that you think. So there's a lot of growing up and maturity that needs to take place. But I think for somebody like Angel, you have a lot of mentors around you that somebody needs to be speaking some truth to you.
Well, and I do think it's unfortunate that Angel is playing with Trinity Carter. I'll be honest. I think it's unfortunate that the WNBA is allowing Trinity Carter to play in the WNBA. If you don't know about her, I mean, she has self-named herself Hollywood, which, what? I didn't know we could do that. But, I mean, if you want to, like, go back and look at her, like, she was a first-round pick, like,
4
5
years
years ago. She's been fired from teams for
Mhm.
beating up her own teammate. She got fired from Atlanta for
Right.
beating her own teammate. Then she went to the Sparks and they got rid of her because of conduct. Like, she had
Yeah.
to go overseas.
Overseas, yeah.
And so I think it's unfortunate because Angel is obviously one of these players that is easily swayed.
Yes.
And I think she has a propensity and a tendency to lean towards kind of the bad girl vibe. She did that at LSU.
Yeah.
I just wish she had better people around her. You know where she would have done really well with Kelsey Plum of the Aces, because
Yeah.
Kelsey's not a like frou-frou like just princess little. That's not Kelsey either. I mean, she's a badass,
Yeah.
but she's very much a professional,
Yep.
and I think she really needs that. But also, I mean, I fault the Sky coaches too. Like, you need to rein in your team. Like, it's just insane.
But if you noticed, and I watched when Sky played, I think it was Liberty earlier this
Mhm.
week.
Yeah, they did.
I was
Yeah.
watching the interaction between the players and the coaches. Those players just walked right by the coaches as they were talking.
Oh,
They
yeah.
paid no mind. And I was like, that's your problem right there. They don't
Is
have
that the one
respect.
Angel got thrown out of?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know
you know,
what she did
ironically,
with that breath, but whatever it was, he immediately was like, out. Out you
I don't
go.
know if she knows yet what she said, but in the press conference, the coach said she was asking for answers too and wasn't giving them. So I don't know what that was about.
Interesting.
But also in the end, it goes back to what we've said about the football players. All that's going to do is hurt your team.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I don't
You
know.
just wanted to be a big dog and talk smack and act like you were all that. And Angel is not out there the whole game. She is on the bench
No.
the majority of that game.
Yeah.
So the fact that when the coach does trust you and put you out on the court, and then you want to act a fool because you think you're
Yeah.
big and bad, what that did nothing for you.
I'm going to go ahead and predict that Angel will not do well in the WNBA. She's going to do well in the summer or in the off season when she plays overseas. She's not going to do well in the WNBA because she's not fast. And I will say that about the WNBA, the people that are the best are just fast.
Yeah.
They're not always the best shooters. They're just, I think it's just because that's what really differentiates in the WNBA or speed. It's a lot different than the NBA because like Luka's probably one of the slowest players in the NBA, but one of the best. It's not like that in the WNBA.
WNBA, those, I mean, you're constantly right on top. You got to be quick on your feet. So, yeah.
All right, let's talk about one more little football news that actually segues us perfectly into entertainment. Our boy TK.
Look at
He was on
him.
GMA this week for about 30 seconds, it felt like.
Right. They really hyped that interview up.
They know how to get viewers, people. They're not stupid.
That is true.
Tell us a little bit about the interview and what were your thoughts?
Yeah, so he was on there really honestly, it was a less than 5-minute interview.
Yep.
It was pre-recorded, so they had taped it offsite somewhere. I thought it was an okay interview. They didn't ask him any questions. It was more of, like, how are you handling your fame right now? They talked a little bit about his podcast. I think the interviewer asked, rate how good is it to be Travis Kelce's life right now on a scale of 1 to 10? So like no hard hitting questions, which honestly, he's not going to answer too in depth. He's always very respectful on how he gives answers. So I thought it was interesting that they had hyped up this interview so much and they honestly didn't ask anything too crazy, you didn't get into anything too specifically. Like you didn't really go far into football, but you also didn't really go far into, his acting world that he's starting to get into. You didn't delve too deep into the podcast. It was very quick and surface level. Not a bad interview. Just, it was interesting that it was so hyped and that was all it was.
Yeah, I agree. And as we say, and Taylor has said in Mastermind, nothing's accidental. So there's definitely something to it. Obviously, I mean, sure, we hope it is that means an engagement announcement is coming, but I don't know if it's that. But there's definitely a choreographed like swarm of PR right now. And I think like the more you and I like kind of study this, honestly, like the more I'm kind of seeing like these like trends and like nuggets that I'm like, oh, this I don't know what it means, and not from like an Easter egg perspective necessarily, but like, why did they have the interview? Like, there's a why behind everything. We know
Right.
he's got the TV show coming out. We know he's going to be in that Ryan Murphy show coming out. We know it's rumored that New Heights is about to sign like a massive deal. Obviously, we know that there are the rumors that maybe there's an engagement announcement coming.
Yeah.
So it just felt like purposeful drips.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's
We'll see.
the biggest thing that stuck out to me.
Hmm.
Why are you growing your hair out and you didn't fix it? I cannot get over the hair.
It's cut now. Well, I haven't. So
Longer. Like you still need
yeah,
to do something.
yeah. I
Like
haven't watched New Heights
close
from this
to a
week.
bowl cut.
Yeah, I haven't watched New Heights from this week, but everybody said it was cut, and I couldn't really honestly tell from the pictures that it was.
I
So
mean,
I don't know.
maybe trim, but it's still longer up top, and he didn't gel it, pomade, nothing. I
Well, I'm wondering,
literally
we're about to be in mini camp. Is
I'm just
the
scared.
we're about to be in mini camp. Is El Travador coming back? Our stash
Listen, it's come back every year, so
has to. Um,
that's
so we are waiting with bated breath with the rest of the world as to what's really coming. Something is obviously coming. Like
yeah,
it's not Rep TV. That's not what he's doing on there, but something is definitely coming, and we'll see. I
yeah,
mean, the fact that he was on GMA is definitely a Taylor hint. That is, anytime she's ever announced anything that she did through a show, it was there, Jimmy Fallon. So, I mean, something's in the water. That's what I'll say.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I think actually before I switch to entertainment, I'm going to bring you 4 questions from the
Oh my
audience.
goodness.
4, and I have permission from 3 of the 4 to release your names. I'm not going to read your usernames because I don't agree with doing that, and also I can't pronounce a couple of them, and tired of getting made fun of. So, this first one comes from Lindsay, and it says, "If you could create your perfect tour/music festival, who would it include?"
Ooh, that's a great question.
I know. So y'all note for the audience, I never give Becca the questions from the audience.
Was
Um,
brain is
some of
spiraling.
these are getting a little more in depth, and I may have to. Some of these I probably should have, but it's been a busy week. So
I think I would not put Taylor Swift on it because I want her in the audience with me. I want to
oh,
enjoy the concert with her.
okay,
Yeah.
got
But
it.
I'm gonna have Jelly Roll,
Mm.
Dan and Shay.
Oh,
Love them.
gosh, this is cool.
Um,
Oh, I wasn't ready. Okay, go ahead.
this Eminem. He's
You
one
would
of my
judge.
favorites.
No wonder y'all are besties. Yeah, it's my 8-year-old's favorite. Shut
Love
up.
him. Love him. Who else would I pull? I probably would go Bleachers. I would have them out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a fun one. I don't know. How many do I have to have on my
It's your show or tour. I don't know if this is a tour
Oh,
or
and
a
Kelly
festival.
Clarkson.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Just she'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Okay.
What are you gonna bring on yours?
I too have a hodgepodge. I've got Bleachers for sure. Dying to see them. I have Kendrick Lamar,
Oh, that'd be a good one.
and I'm not sure what I meant by this. Not sure what that is. Haim. I love Haim. And they are so fun
Okay.
and versatile.
I've literally never heard them sing before.
Yeah,
So,
I just love them. And but my caveat to this was I am going to need to hang out with the groups before the show.
obviously,
Okay.
you know,
Just making sure
Southern
that
hospitality. Who would we be if we didn't, spend
I
some
mean,
time?
if there are people who are watching and are willing for us to put on this show, I just need y'all to know that's going to be in my rider. Okay. This next, this next question comes from Hannah, or Hannah. I don't know. I mean, it does not appear that she's from the U.S., so whatever. Would you rather see a live acoustic small venue Taylor show or a live full out stadium Eras-esque tour?
Oh, 100% an acoustic small setting.
Same. And
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if it's fair for me. Speaking of time zones, people, we just know nothing. My Twitter just went off that Paramore just took the stage, and I was like, it's 12 o'clock in the day. Forget one, folks. It's different. Okay. I mean, I've seen the Eras Tour twice. I cannot wait to see it again. So, I mean, it's incredible and a must. But
Yeah.
I think that whole acoustic vibe in like a small venue with a small amount of people, like those secret sessions she used to do, I think that would have been like my epic moment.
And a lot of times when they do those, they'll put like a different twist on a song too.
Yeah.
And they talk in between. Like, I like the intimate, more personal level.
Yeah.
I think that would be so cool.
One of the things I love that she does during the Eras Tour when she does surprise songs, but I've also noticed, and of course, I think there's something to this. Recently, she has started doing it with a lot of the songs in the tour set list. It began with when she was doing the one, which has been removed, note changes.
Yes.
When she throws in a note change, it usually is freaking amazing.
Yeah. And she does that just because, like, at this point, she's probably bored singing the same things over and over again. Like, let's challenge ourselves here.
Yeah.
Because Taylor Swift, and that's what she does. So, yeah. But it's fun to see.
I did have as always, when I answer any question, I have a caveat to this. So I want my live acoustic small venue concert, but this is what I want. I don't want the songs. I want it to be all bridges only.
Oh. Okay. I like it. I like it.
Can you imagine? It would be so epic. She would have no voice at the end because that's always when she goes insane vocally. But like, I think it would be so freaking cool.
Yeah.
All right. This next one comes from Paul M, because the next two are from Paul's. This one is Paul M. Your dream offense. You get a quarterback, a tight end, 2 receivers, and a running back.
Listen, this one has me spiraling. Okay. Obviously, I'm going Patrick Mahomes.
And this can be all time too. I'm assuming that. He didn't say that, but I'm saying that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Tight end. That one's a toss-up for me because I like Dallas Goedert too with Travis. So I'd go either one of them.
Okay.
Who's the other one? Running back?
And then 2 receivers.
Listen, no.
What?
Because I'm panicking in my brain. I'm trying to who's a receiver and who's like something else.
Okay.
What was Julio Jones? He was a receiver, right?
Yeah, he still is.
I'd take him.
Ish. Yeah. So you're taking him back in his prime.
Yes. And Randy Moss. Back in his, obviously, prime, because he's way old now for an NFLer. What else am I picking?
Uh-oh, I lost you for a second. Wait, I lost you for a second. Who did you pick?
Randy Moss.
I got Julio, and then oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so that's your 2. Okay, so did you give me a running back?
No.
Okay. Didn't mean to stress you further.
I am stressed. This is me panicking.
This is one of the ones I thought.
Who's the older guy? Barry
Sanders.
Yes.
Barry
I want to put him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We'll go old school.
Good ones. So yeah, I went Patrick as well. I went Travis. 2 receivers. I went Jerry Rice.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I also went Randy Moss. I think Aaron would probably divorce me if I didn't pick Randy Moss. That's his like all time. But I mean, let's be honest, dude was talented. You know who my third that I was actually considering, and he didn't even play very long, but Megatron, Calvin Johnson.
Oh yeah.
I thought about him.
He really.
And then I also went old school because this is my favorite football player. Well, I was about to say he's always been my favorite football player of all time. That may be changing right now. I don't know. We'll see. Bo Jackson.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love Bo Jackson.
I remember him from kids.
Yeah. So that was mine. But yeah, that was the one question I was like, I should have told Becca this one ahead of time. So I'll do better.
It's fine, guys.
This one didn't give me their name, but based on the username, I'm assuming your name is also Paul, but you are not the same Paul because y'all do not look the same in your pictures. The Actors on Actors series, the interviews, we've talked about those before. Yes. He asked, who would be your favorite actor on actor interview?
See, it's really hard to pick now because I saw Jennifer Aniston with, what is the girl from Abbott, the lady from Abbott Elementary?
Oh, yeah.
Brunson.
I'll look it up real quick.
I watched theirs yesterday. So good. So good.
Yeah, Quinta Brunson, yeah.
I would want to see one with Blake Lively. Who would be a good one to go with her? I think her and Sandra Bullock. I would like to see them interview each other.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So I wanted to pick Blake because, I pick Blake for everything in life. But I chose not to this time.
Okay.
But I kept it in the Swiftyverse in our girl gang here. Jennifer Lawrence and Emma Stone.
Oh, that would be good.
I know. I think they would be so funny together. But I also think for being younger actresses, I do think that I really enjoy both of their career choices. And yeah. I think, like we've always said, if we can ever get actresses and actors on the show, I would love to know the why behind the roles they pick. And both of them have so many roles that I want to be like, okay, why did you do that? Not that it was bad, but I
want an honest answer, because if you picked a role because of the money, I want to know. I want to know you're like, listen, I just needed a good paycheck that month.
I'm going to tell you that this is just my assumption and my perspective. And I guess this is speculative, but I'm going to tell you that I think Jennifer Lawrence would say that she did Hunger Games for money.
Probably because that's different than what her typical movie style is.
It was towards the beginning.
Yeah.
And I love the books too, so I'm good with it.
Nobody's, even because a lot of times they'll go for a paycheck and then people are like, I can't believe she did that movie. Mm-hmm. That movie, people still think you were fantastic in. So,
yep.
Go for
Love it. So, yeah. Those were our audience questions today. Y'all, thank you. Please continue.
I love this. Yeah.
We love them. But that does lead us into our entertainment section. For the majority of doing, we will talk about Taylor now.
Oh, I lost you.
Uh-oh. Did I cut out?
Oh, I think you're back. There you are.
Am I back?
Yeah.
We're going to start with the Taylor segment. Although we are starting to get a lot of sports questions, so we are very versatile. Bring us everything.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Taylor did Madrid and Lyon. I guess last time we were recording, she was just kicking off in Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the show with just Blake and the girls at that point in Heim. And then the next night, Ryan was there, Reynolds. And great shows in all the places. She finally got a European rain show in Lyon, which always seems to take her and that crew to a whole new level. Can we talk about her hair? I know we've texted. I don't understand.
Here's the thing, though. It gets perfectly curly, but not
as if it was curled.
Yeah. So my hair is naturally has quite a bit of curl to it. I always straighten it and then add curls. But when it's wet, it doesn't look cute. We look like a literal drowned rat.
Yeah, with a triangle at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get it.
No.
Also, the curliest parts of my hair are around my forehead, where if I had
Yeah.
bangs, that's where they'd be. Her bangs are always perfectly straight.
Makes no sense.
Listen.
But also, okay, you know when you're like it starts raining and you're outside and like your clothes get wet and they just suction to you and it's like all you can do, you just want to rip them off.
Oh yeah.
I can't fathom being in like the flowy dress for some of those scenes and it's suction to you because it's wet and then you've got to change clothes. The annoyance level would have, I couldn't get through a song.
Well, you feel that way about the flowy ones. When it starts raining and she's in that Reputation outfit that's like leather or pleather,
yeah.
I just feel like I can't breathe for her.
Right?
I don't know.
But she seems to love it. It seems to be one of her
favorites. It is like her upper echelon. It is her favorite thing in the world. And her poor dancers, I mean, they seem to love it too, but I'm like, I would be so terrified I was going to fall.
Yeah. All the spins and the moves, like flip onto something, off of something.
Petrified. The other note that I wanted to make, because I think this is so impressive, and you actually mentioned this earlier about Luca. Unfortunately, at every show recently on the European tour, something has gone awry in the audience. I don't know if people are getting overheated, medical emergencies. I don't really know what's even happening because you don't obviously see it. Right. But I think every show she's done so far in Europe, she's had to ask security for help for someone in the audience. Mm-hmm. Every single time she does it in the native language.
As one does.
What?
I just wonder, are there statements that she knows, hey, when things happen, this is what I need to know how to say. But still, to even learn it.
Yeah.
And then
so I've done
possibly not, but you still remembered how to say it correctly.
Why? So I've done some research.
Okay.
I've done some research. Apparently, in every city that they go to, she has a vocal dialect person that she meets with. And they also meet with Cam, the dancer.
Yes, because he
always does it in that language. And now he's also has that part in I Can Do It With a Broken Heart when he counts to 4 in their language too. So anyway, he meets with them and gets because in a lot of the countries, there's multiple phrases he can use for the never getting back together part. And so he learns those, but then she works with them also because she always does the I've always waited to say these words to you. Welcome to the Eras Tour in their language.
Yeah.
But so I have learned that she does this in every city. So what I don't know. Can you still hear me?
Yep. We can still hear you.
Man down.
Can you hear me?
Now are you there?
Frozen. I'm here. Are you here? I heard you, but now you're gone again. Technical difficulties, folks.
Are you there now? Okay.
There we go.
I'm back.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, vocal dialect coach. So that's what I'm assuming is that she's got the I guess just emotional intelligence or whatever it would be to know I need to know how to ask for help. I need to know how to say thank you, I love y'all. She's probably got those phrases but the thing is, as typical with her with everything she does, I mean, it is literally perfect language.
Yeah.
There's
That's it's kind of like the Friends episode where Joey's trying to speak French. We can keep practicing this, but then when a couple of hours have passed and now I need to use this term, it's not coming out correctly.
Well, and she does it so flawlessly. One of the most recent ones, she's mid-song Champagne Problems, and you can tell, you can see her eyes see something is happening. So she finishes the words that she's in, takes a deep breath, says blah, 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 whatever she says, and then she's like, thank you, back to the song. I mean, I don't know that I have ever seen, it reminds me of that one show where her ear thing went out and she had to walk over to Amos and watch his hands playing the notes to know. And I was just like, this is mind-blowing.
Yeah, but I think we've always said her level, not just her level of talent as a singer and a songwriter, but her intelligence is far beyond
off the charts.
An entertainer. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's all those people that want to talk about they think she's neurodivergent, which I have a whole theory that I think all humans are, but I mean, does she have a lot of like the potential tendencies? Yeah, but I think it's the brilliance side of it is overwhelming.
100%.
Lots of surprise song mashups again. Apparently, we are like, but there's again, as we talked about last week, there's something to it. I think she's weaving something into it because then there are some specifically on the piano that she just does the one song.
Yeah.
Like this past time, she did the Chloe, Sam, Marcus, Sophia, everybody and their mother song.
The name song.
Yeah, she did the name song, which I saw later on. Haley from Paramore said that that was her favorite song. So I'm like, did she sing it for Haley? But then I also saw it was Sam, the backup dancer's 21st birthday. Did she sing it for him? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But they were interesting. I the reason I am now of the mindset that there's definitely some story she's weaving into this is because when Blake and Ryan were there with their kids, I would have thought she would have done Gorgeous, since James was at the beginning of Gorgeous, the original, which I'm betting Betty or Inez is probably on the beginning of the new one. She had just done that one like a show or two before. And so I just feel like there's something to it. We'll never know. She's too smart for us.
Right.
So.
Years down the line, we might figure it out.
Yeah, 40 years from now, we're gonna look back and be like, oh, that was what it was. I gave you a link in the notes. I was looking at this. So there's this thing called on Twitter, it's a handle at Spotify_Swift, and they do like Taylor Swift streaming data. They update it daily. These people have a lot of time on their hands. This was last week, but what it does essentially is it lists all the songs from the anthology. So it's both albums, and it shows like the daily totals or streams for that day. This is on Spotify, and then it has a column for total streams, like of all time for those songs, and then it shows you a change on percentages. This is clearly not a job we could have done because it involves a lot of math, but there were some things that I thought. There were things that I thought were interesting. So in the notes for Becca, I just put the link. I didn't tell her what I was going to talk about with this, but before I go where I was going to go, was there anything that jumped off the page at you when you looked at this?
I thought it was interesting that the Prophecy was so high on streams because that's not one, obviously it's not a single. It's not one that she does in concert. So to me, that just goes to show people are truly listening to this album and finding favorites in there.
Yeah.
Not going to be just a 1 or 2 hit wonder on this.
Yeah.
So
and it was
me specifically.
I thought that was interesting. And it was the highest gainer. This again was a week ago. It was a almost 21% gain. And it was not a surprise song unless I'm just not remembering it. So I wondered like, why? So that I noticed that, the one that I thought was one of the things I thought was interesting, I was trying to find the right number. Down Bad seems to be like a lot of celebrities are kind of throwing it out there. Lady Gaga this week had some pictures posted of her, and I have to check my Y factor because I can't remember if I'm about to talk about this in a second. Yeah, I am. Okay. So anyway, I'll save that. But anyway, like Lady Gaga commented about Down Bad. A lot of different celebrities have been bringing up Down Bad, but its percentage was the lowest, or one of the lowest. And its daily streams was kind of low. So I was a little bit surprised by that. The other thing, I was Fresh Out the Slammer. She did do that as a surprise song, and it had a pretty big gain. I'm Gonna Get You Back, really high on the gains again. I'm just wondering if I'm Taylor or Taylor's team, do I look at this and does that help dictate what the next single is? Because, as we've talked about on Miss Americana, she has said that it's a lot of times it's not her choice in the songs that she wants that become the singles.
What'd she say?
Do what? Huh? Hello? Oh no. Am I gone again?
We keep losing you.
Oh no. Am I back?
Oh, I think you're back.
Okay.
There you are.
All right. So, in Miss Americana, she has said that the singles are not usually her choice or the ones she would want.
Right.
but that has kind of been changing, especially as she's getting more and more control. So I just wonder, do you think they look at stuff like this?
I'm sure they do. You kind of have to look at all aspects, I would think, in that industry.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if she could pick a bad one to go with next, though. To be honest, whatever she picks is going to do real well.
Yeah. I mean, her lowest daily streams on, at least last week, were Robin and the Manuscript. Neither one of those surprised me, honestly.
No,
Like overall all-time streams, at least for Spotify, Robin is actually the lowest.
which we
Which
had said we didn't really like that one.
Yeah, so that doesn't really surprise me. Fortnite obviously has the highest as the single. You would expect that. But then the next one is I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, of course.
Yep.
And then Down Bad. Some of the ones that I thought would be a little higher, and maybe it's because I love it so much, is But Daddy, I Love Him, because it's even under My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. So I don't know.
That
It's
is
just
interesting. Yeah.
but that My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys is actually growing on me. I told you that. So I don't know. It's interesting. There are as to be shocking to everyone, there are some new rumors. TS12, of course, our little Easter egg fiends their new phrase is orange is oranging. So there was always the rumors, obviously, that Karma was the lost album and that the colors for that album were orange. There is an orange door in the graphics on the Eras tour that opens. And it does go into the TTPD era. So it does seem like there was supposed to be something that has to do with orange. Now people are convinced that TS12's colors will be orange and maybe it will be Karma. I don't know. But
the Chiefs colors, mix them
uh-huh.
together. That's a little orangish.
Okay.
It's just homage to Travis.
Sure. Yeah, like she manifested it just like he did. So, okay, I'm good with that. My question for you about TS12, whenever it may happen, do you think it will be more pop like 1989 or more of the same vein of like Folklore, Evermore, TTBD? Do you think it will be rock or just something totally brand new?
I'm really hoping it's pop. I love her
Okay.
pop albums. It's just more fun to listen to. I like the beats of those better. And I really hope after TTPD we get like a excited happy album.
Yeah.
We need to move the pendulum that way.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
hoping
definitely
that we go into, but who knows? She could throw another folksy one out there with it. We'll see.
I
What do you
really
think she's going to be doing?
I'm thinking that the folksy era is probably ending with the TTPD. I mean, because technically that's like 3 of those albums.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking that we may be, closing that chapter. I'm going that it's going to be more poppy, but I think it is going to, I'm not going to say that I think it's going to be like rock, even though I would probably enjoy that because those videos of her from, this is the 1989 tour, or maybe it was the Rep tour when
Yeah.
she's out there with the electric guitar and she does that growl that she can do. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I feel like there may be some of that vibe. I know the stupid people that are over Jack Antonoff and the synth, like whatever, y'all need to go fly a kite somewhere. But I do, for some reason, think there's going to be a little of maybe that kind of Bleachers band kind of vibe to it.
It's highly probable.
So if she's listening, we're good with whatever it is. Just saying.
Listen, we'll buy the album. It literally doesn't matter.
I mean, it'll happen. The Kids' Choice Awards were announced this week. Taylor is the most nominated artist for female artists. This is the first nominations for TTBD. So it was nominated for favorite music album, favorite collab, Fortnite and Karma, favorite ticket of the year, Eras Tour, and then favorite global music star. I don't know much about the Kids' Choice Awards, but TTPD, I don't know, like, is that the vibe of the Kids' Choice Awards?
Listen, I kind of think it's one of those things where, like, when you're an artist like Taylor Swift, they're going to listen to it.
Yeah. I mean, we know they do. And I don't know, as usual, I have no idea how the Kids' Choice Awards are voted on. I don't know anything. Is that the ones where they used to drop the slime on them.
I think they still do.
She ain't gonna be showing up to that. I can tell you that.
I'm pretty sure the celebrities know ahead of time because
she's gonna be like, no, I can't be there. Sorry, bye.
Right.
She did win Songwriter of the Year again on the BMIs, as she should.
Yeah, which I think to songwriters, BMI is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's huge. Of course, all the hoopla has already started about album of the year, even more than we thought it was going to be, because I swear to you, every single human is releasing an album this year.
Everybody.
Now, Katy Perry's had some secret listening sessions, and her folks are saying it's a bop. And of course, there's rumors that Taylor's on it. I think everyone putting out an album right now has the rumors that Taylor's on it. We'll see.
Katy putting out an album makes sense because she just finished the last season she was going to do with American Idol. So maybe she was wrapping that up so she can release an album and tour with it.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since she's put out new music.
Yeah, a long minute. Yeah. What did you think about Kelsey Ballerini, a new judge on The Voice?
I think her personality will fit perfect. Did you see Adam's coming back as well?
I saw that. I think her personality is going to be great, but I'm interested to see, and I don't mean this as a slight to her, so I hope if she's listening, she doesn't take it that way. I don't know that I see her being like coach material.
No.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I just maybe like a guest judge or guest coach.
Right,
but
she's done before with when Kelly was a judge.
Yeah.
She came on as one of the guest judges. I think her personality will be great on the show to like pick a team and for the friendly banter back and forth that makes good TV. But I think when you get down to the nitty gritty, and maybe she is incredible at coaching and doing all that behind the scenes stuff. I don't necessarily know that I could, because think of what if she gets, like a gospel soulful 56-year-old person on her team. I don't know that you could coach them. There's a lot of life experience difference there. And a lot of times the things that you could teach them, they've probably already experienced. So it'll be interesting to see. But usually that show I watch until they finish the blind auditions, and then I don't keep up with it.
Yeah, I'm not I don't follow it very often either, but I think that's awesome for her though.
Yeah.
All right. Would you like to play our question game of the week?
Let's do it. These were great questions, by the way.
These were finding something I've got a little gift for coming up these days. All right, let's see. I've got two categories. The question game is where we'll start. What storyline from the news has disappeared that you thought would or should have been a bigger deal?
So with this one, I love learning about cults. I find them extremely fascinating. So I've done like deep dives in it because I'm so fascinated by how these intelligent people get sucked into a cult. It just fascinates me.
Okay.
Scientology is one of those cults that I've watched everything on. I love learning and how these people are. Yeah. So for me, the story that I felt like should have been in the news more but disappeared was that Shelley Miscavige is missing. Who she's married to David Miscavige, who is the head of Scientology. And she literally has not been seen since before Tom Cruise married Katie Holmes. Leah Remini asking, where is Shelley at that wedding is what got her kicked out, because David Miscavige was like, you're asking too many questions. You don't need to know this stuff. And she was best friends with Shelley. So this is like a huge thing. She put in a missing persons report with the LAPD. The LAPD is in cahoots, allegedly, with Scientology. So it's like, yeah, she's fine. We made contact. But then come to find out all these years later, they didn't actually make contact. And there's all this stuff going on. And so now there's more lawsuits. It's interesting. And I just feel like that really died off. So
I'm going to be honest. Once you got to talking, I was like, oh, I do remember this. But yeah, I had totally forgotten.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Well, mine actually was related to Scientology in a sense. Danny Masterson.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously his trial and conviction and his sentencing, obviously that was in the news, right? To an extent. Honestly, not as much as I thought it would be.
Right.
But like there was all this like is Scientology kind of behind this? They did sort of cover it up for a long time. Like where
Time.
I just kind of thought from like a victim perspective that they might have gone after the church more than they did.
Yeah, I was interested by that, but literally as soon as he was found guilty and sentenced, his wife divorced him. The church kicked her out. She's no longer allowed to be a Scientologist, which I think they did her a favor.
Yeah, like, I'm like, good job. Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah,
I don't know. Just I also think Ashton Kutcher, that dude, like, he's always kind of on the peripheral of something awry. Like he's allegedly mentioned in the Diddy stuff, but yet he's kind of like not gonna get the bad vibe, but maybe he should. I don't know.
Because he and Mila both wrote letters
defending him. Yeah. So I don't know. I just
that I would put my neck out on a line for somebody that.
No. No, and I mean, like, I consider myself to be a good friend to people, but I'm not stupid.
Right.
And then I'll send you a care package in prison, but I'm not. Yeah, I'll send you some ramen noodles, but that's it.
Commissary money, maybe $20 for your birthday.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh gosh.
All right, what story or person would you like to see a full documentary like an expose style on?
I mean, so obviously we would love a deep dive into Taylor Swift. Like,
that's always an asterisk. Of course, it's going to be her.
That's our answer for pretty much everything. But I also would love a deep dive into Catherine, Princess of Wales.
Oh.
I want to deep dive into her family, because there's always been these underlying rumors that like they specifically sent her to this college that she went to because they wanted her to be in Williams Circle, her family business, and now it's supposedly bankrupt and they owe like all of those inner workings. How do you go from being just your average person, which her family had some money, so but she was still average. You go from that.
They claim that they're broke now, allegedly.
But going from that to being a royal, and not just a royal, but like the most royal, who seems to not miss a step. Yeah. So I think it would be interesting to have one on her.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. I went with the Kushner family. Okay.
I feel like that would make us mad.
Well, I mean, it would, but I still need to know because as we know, Mr. Kushner,
they got their hands on
Jared's dad. Is his name David? I can't remember his name. Anyway, you know, he went to prison. He did some time. I'd like to know a little bit more about that. I'd like to know how the boys were connected, if they were. You know, Jared has like obviously the Trump side, but he's also involved in the Kushner side of business. So both sides are criminal. Like, want to know where we're going with that. And then you got Josh, who I don't like, but you know, he's got the Carly thing. They're buying up all these publications. He and Jared are kind of seem polar opposite. Like, how does the family work? What are I just and you know, obviously they part of the family that bought the masters from Taylor's people, or well, not from Taylor, but from Scooter. Yeah, I want to know more. I want to know how these people have not been taken down and how do they work? Do they have anything to do with each other? You know, I'm very curious about their family. Yeah.
Okay. I like that one.
All right. What would your ideal cast or plot, or both, look like for a movie you would like to see made?
Okay. So I love Hallmark movies. They are my favorite. I do not miss them. And a lot of things are different.
Okay.
I absolutely know what's going to happen at the end, and it's always a happy ending. So my anxiety doesn't have to get elevated at any point.
Got it. Okay.
I need a Hallmark Taylor and Travis movie.
Oh,
we've got the football star and we've got the pop star, and their lives just go, and then they meet up, and it's happily ever after. So that's the kind of movie I want. Okay. Very simple, nothing crazy. I don't need, you know, superheroes and all the twists and turns. We don't need that. And then I did cast them.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay.
So for Travis, he's either going to be Chris Hemsworth or Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, because that'd be great.
Yeah.
Taylor, January Jones, or Taylor herself, because I think she would enjoy playing herself.
There you have it.
For Jason, I'm gonna go a skinny Jack Black.
Okay.
I think that would just be funny. But then who Kylie, it doesn't work with Jack Black because I picked Blake Lively to play Kylie.
Okay, I got it.
Together obviously doesn't work, so we won't put casting director on my resume.
Okay.
Mama Swift, Jean Smart.
Oh, perfect. Yep.
And then Mama Kelsey is Kathy Bates.
Okay, I love that. That's a good one. I love that. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah. I like that. Okay.
All right, what movie are you? I feel we probably went in different directions.
Well, we genre-wise we did. We have some overlap. So I would like to see a movie made of the Reputation album.
Oh.
So, obviously that was a whole era in Taylor's life with everything that happened in 2016 with Kanye, with the Masters, just all this drama, right? So I want to have a little twist to it though.
Okay.
I want it to be like just a typical suburban housewife, but all these things happen to her. So the her obviously would be like Taylor being the main character in Reputation. I do have that as Blake Lively as always. So that we know too in Reputation, or I guess I should say we assumed during Reputation that Joe kind of swooped in and took her off and protected her, but now we know that was actually a prison for her. So okay, there's that. But let's just pretend that he's kind of still the good guy and we don't know what we know now. That's Ryan Reynolds, as it would be.
Obviously.
But then, we've got the bad guy in this. So the bad guy is a bunch of people, though, right? It's Kanye, it's Scooter Braun, it's Scott Borchetta. Okay. I've wrapped all three of those people and storylines to one person.
Okay.
Ben Affleck.
Perfect.
Did you ever see, I'm going to think that the answer is no, because I feel like this movie would give you a little anxiety, but it's actually, I like the movie The Town with Ben Affleck and Blake Lively. Okay. He's, I can't remember if they're in Jersey. I think it's either Jersey or Boston. Because Blake has a super thick accent in it. And she's like a stripper in it. And he's like a bad guy, but he has a good heart. Anyway, the vibe he gives off on that is just like bad guy, dirty, criminal, grungy, does all these bad things. Yeah. That.
So that's a perfect casting. Okay, that would be I would come see that movie.
Well, thank you. We would love to have you. Okay. All right, last one for the question game section, and then we have another section. If you could only know the real story, bunny quotes, behind one famous, bunny quotes, true crime, which story would you pick?
This was an easy one for me. John Benet Ramsey.
Oh, I knew it. Me too. Okay.
Is that what you picked?
Oh, yeah. I think it was the brother, and I need to know for sure that I'm right.
I also think it's the brother, and I think the dad knows everything.
Yeah, and I think
the mom had inklings, but I think she died before she truly.
I agree. Or he offed her. I'm just saying.
Possible. All alleged. These are just our thoughts and opinions.
Yeah. Nobody asked us. Also, I just got an alert on my Twitter. Good news. BJ Thompson, Chiefs defensive end, is now awake and alert.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's coming from his agent. So hopefully that's true. Good news here. Oh, yeah. I had a feeling we were going to pick the same one on that one. All right. We've got some would you rathers. Mm-hmm. Would you rather have dinner with Kylie Kelsey or be a personal assistant to Taylor Swift?
So this one, of course, I'm going to pick what gives me both. I'm going to be Taylor Swift's personal assistant because then I'm going to be in Kylie's realm. We're going to become friends. Dinner.
Yep, same. I picked being Taylor's assistant too because also I think you'd get to travel the world. You get to interact with all these people that we think are so fascinating. And yeah, you'd still get to be around Kylie, Blake Lively, all the people we love.
That would be a fun person to be a personal assistant to. I do think that there are a lot of celebrities that you're like, I don't want to be 24/7.
Well, it's obviously not a bad gig because her assistant that's always with her has been there for 10 plus years. So, but yeah, I picked that too. Okay. Would you rather Jason and Travis get their own show like Peyton and Eli's, Monday night, Thursday night kind of football show, or have New Heights? Now you can only pick one though. So if you pick the TV show, we would never have New Heights again. Or if you pick New Heights, we could never have a TV show.
So I went with we would always have New Heights. I'm
Same. Dadgummit, we're too much alike. Yeah.
Well, because here's the thing. I didn't thoroughly enjoy the Peyton and Eli thing, but I think that's their personalities together. I just don't always like that. But I feel like with the podcast, I can watch a football game and hear anybody analyze it as we go. But then I want the true breakdown on the podcast, and I want all your details and your true thoughts. So I'm going to keep the podcast.
Yeah, I picked the podcast. Honestly, because first of all, it's kind of a proven thing. Like we know they've got a good vibe. They're great in that role. You just never know sometimes how that's going to translate on TV. But also, I mean, I love that New Heights, covers football, obviously, but they also talk about a lot of other things, and they wouldn't be able to do that as much on a show.
Right. I think you miss a lot once it moves to just being an analyst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am curious how you're going to answer the next one. Would you rather be an intern at New Heights or an intern at Taylor Nation?
So I picked intern at Taylor Nation.
Okay. I just same, but I thought for some reason you were going to go New Heights.
No, I just feel like that's more of like bro atmosphere, and it's like an in and out real quick. Let's jump on, record something, and then peacing out. Because I feel like at Taylor Nation, like you're just involved in everything. You get a piece of all of it. So
you would know the Easter eggs.
Yes, because that would be the first thing that I'm like, who's in charge of answering?
Where is the Google Drive where that document is? Please. Thank you.
That's what tell anybody. I just, for my own need, I just need to know.
Listen, I'll give you my left kidney. I won't tell a soul. All right.
Would you rather tree gives?
Exactly. Would you rather work at Good Morning America or the Today Show?
So I've never been a GMA person. Literally, I've always watched Today. So I picked Today Show, specifically the third hour with Jenna and Hoda.
Okay. So funny story about that. So historically, I was always a GMA person. Back when I was in politics, it was kind of just, honestly, my boss usually went on GMA more than Today. But also like you had George Stephanopoulos. And I feel like back then, when I say back then, this is not like the 1800s. This would have been like the early 2000s into like mid 2000s. Because I was in politics, I guess 2001 through 9. So I always kind of had a penchant for that. I love Robin Roberts. She's probably one of my top favorite people in that whole world. And I also like her name just left my mind, Lara Spencer.
She's good.
Now, though, I would go Today Show. I feel like the vibe at GMA has changed a lot. I love Michael Strahan, but I even think like his presence there has really changed the vibe. And Hoda and Jenna. I mean, Jenna's one of my favorite people in real life, and just the fact that she's a celebrity, but also just like on a personal level, I love Jenna.
And Hoda just seems so normal and down to earth and interesting.
Yeah. And Jenna's a really good, she's just a really good human. And she's one of those people that like, well, and I should say, I mean, I haven't been in Jenna's world now in like, what are we? This is a long time since. I don't think I've even gotten to see Jenna in person since 2008 or 9. So, but I will say back then, like on a personal level, super, like just, she genuinely cares about people.
Yeah.
And so I respect her style of journalism because I think that comes through in her journalism a lot. And I just think she's real. So yeah. All right. This last one, this is a doozy. I'm still not even sure. This is kind of a game time decision for me. Would you rather have to work with Diddy or Kanye?
Okay, so I just put I would rather be unemployed.
Okay, next week I'm gonna have to put asterisk. You must pick.
I just don't know. I guess I would probably go. I don't know, Kanye, only because I feel like just my opinion, I think he could probably have enough mental episodes where like I can pass him off to somebody else and I'm not dealing with him. Just give me a cubicle to work in.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't. You're not winning either way.
No, I think both would be horrid. I went Kanye because I feel like my chances of going to prison are smaller, and
Okay.
I would not survive in jail. So it's my only reason. But both I think
We
could be
would not make good inmates.
no, no. But I feel like both would be the epitome of hell having to work for
Oh
either
my
one of them.
gosh. Can you even imagine?
Be awful.
Yeah, yeah, that was not easy.
I know. I thought it was a good one. There was some stories that came out this week. Another PA from Kanye's life is suing him because that's what you do. And
Now he's countersuing her.
of course, because that's what he does. And
Why
but
not?
still, we're not like Homeland Security's not breaking the doors down yet. So I'm better with that situation.
That's fair.
All right. Are we ready for the Y factor?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's start bad and we'll end on the good. What's your dislike this week?
Well, no surprise here. Mine went to the entire Chicago sky.
Okay. The whole caboodle.
I watched them play New York, and it just the way that they treated other players, the way that they spoke, their attitudes toward their coaches. I was just like, you know what, we could be done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching because I really enjoy some of the players on New York's team. I was not watching for Angel or for Trinity. So yeah, they can all go. I'm good.
Her and her dumb name. I can't say that.
What did you pick that you don't like?
Well, since I almost went to it earlier. So this week, Lady Gaga had some pictures that came out of her. It looked like, I think, at a wedding.
It was her sister's wedding.
Okay. You always forget that celebrities have siblings too.
Right.
So anyway, she some of the folks online said that she appeared pregnant. Not going to comment either way. But she came out and made a quick video and she said, not pregnant, just down bad crying at the gym. Quote to Taylor. I guess it's rumored that Taylor commented. I will say now, though, that I think a lot of the publications that have put the story out are a lot of Trees people. So I think it really was that Taylor did comment on it and was like, hey, no woman should ever have to comment. Like, this is, absurd, which she's right. And that's totally a Taylor thing to do. I told you too, I think that Taylor probably is real in her feelings about the fact that everyone keeps analyzing that she's pregnant too.
Yeah.
And that's my dislike. People first of all, are we not, this is 2024. Are we still criticizing women's bodies? First of all. And then second of all, we have no idea what these women go through. We don't know if they are able to have children. We don't know if they had a miscarriage yesterday morning. We don't know anything. How dare these people do that to them? I'm
still shocked in this day and age, the things that people publicly say. It's one thing to maybe think it and question.
Yeah.
It's a completely different thing when you're putting it out on the internet and asking people, even
just
if
the other day,
your business.
Just the other day, we saw a picture of somebody who we both love and adore. And I said to you, is she having a baby? It never crossed my mind to go put that on social media.
No.
Now, you could also argue maybe I shouldn't have even said that to you. You could argue that too. That's fine. And I guess it is a slippery slope. You start there and then but how do you make this gargantuan jump from saying it to somebody you're close to the world? I
think it even surprises me more when it's women that come out.
That's what annoys me to know.
Because as a woman, we know there might be certain weeks of the month that we just are bloated. I'm going to look pregnant, whatever the case may be. Our bodies change day to day. Why would we question somebody else? You could have thought me at the swimming pool yesterday. Maybe I was pregnant the way, you just never know. It's just wild. We're still having.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I know we have to wrap up here in a minute, but I was thinking this the other day too, having lost a lot of weight, thankfully, from my surgery. I have a lot of excess skin. And do I want to have it removed? Yes. Will my insurance pay for it? No. Am I able to afford it independently? No. So there are times when I put on certain things, I'm like, oh, I have that pooch and it makes me look pregnant. I've had a full hysterectomy. I can't get pregnant. I've also had miscarriages. So it's something I don't need someone speculating on. You know what I mean? Oh, just that is like not just a dislike, it is something I disdain. Like,
Yep.
I'm over it. But props to Taylor. There's
Still being
rumors that
classy about it.
yeah, and I love when women come to defend other women, no matter if it's a Taylor Swift or us. Like,
Yep.
because women are the first to tear each other down, we should be the first to pick each other up. Like,
Yep. 100% agree.
All right, what is your like?
Okay, so obviously we've discussed that I love a good cult and a documentary.
Good God, yes, okay.
So on Netflix, they just released a documentary called Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult.
Okay, I heard this was coming out. I didn't know it is out.
It's 3 episodes. I watched it in one night, super quick watch.
Okay.
It kind of starts with, there was this dancing group, really hit it off in 2020. This guy comes in and was like, oh, hey, I can manage you. I'm also a pastor of a church, coincidentally. But like this church, you have to be invited to their services and like just all these crazy things. And then as you go into the episodes, there's people from like way back in the early 2000s that are like, this guy's still around. He's still doing these things. So it goes in depth, but it follows the main dancer. Her name is Melanie. Well, there's Melanie and Miranda Wilking. They're sister dancers. Got on. So Melanie went to like the dinners and stuff, and she was like, there's so many red flags. This is crazy. She gets out. Well, her sister Miranda and her sister Miranda's boyfriend stay in. So now they're like separated from the family. So you kind of go into that dynamic. Melanie Wilking is now married to Austin Eckler, who used to play for
the Chargers.
Yeah. And now this year he'll start playing for the Commanders. She just got married to him. So it was just fascinating to kind of watch that family dynamic and go in. It was such a good documentary. Like I said, it was a really quick watch. It was just 3 episodes. It was so good.
Well, I know what I'll be doing tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is a little feature on Twitter, or X as we call it. Well, we don't call it that, but they call it that. Have you noticed when you see a story on X or Twitter, and then in the bottom there's that, I think it's usually like baby blue box that'll say like reader context?
Yes.
Okay. So there was one this week. So my like is that I like that they're doing that now. Now, it needs a lot of work. It misses a lot of things. But there was one this week that somebody was posting this story or content saying that Travis is super jealous of the backup dancers, the male dancers on the Eras tour. Which, first of all, right when I read it, I was like, you are so stupid. Like, first of all, not even the same orientation overall.
No.
Okay? So we'll just start there and leave it at that. But also, like, if you have watched Travis for about 3.1 millisecond, you know that dude is not jealous of a soul. Nope. Like, if he's jealous of anyone, it's his brother having a wife and kids. That's his jealousy. Like, that is not his image.
Oh my gosh.
But somebody put in they did the reader's Twitter, X, whomever, did the reader's context. It was like, this has never been said and could not be further from the truth. Like, literally called them out. And I was like, I freaking love this. I just like that. And again, it needs a lot of work, but I like at least this gradual step towards, hey, you can't just put shit out because you want to.
Yeah. I love it. That's great.
Again, needs a lot of work, but hey, we're headed in a better direction.
Yes. We'll take that.
People are stupid. Like,
be better, folks.
Good Lord. All right. Well, that was episode 24.
Yes.
24. Okay. Note for audio, so I'll know what to put on the graphic this week.
There you go.
All right, awesome. Well, we will be back next week with another riveting edition.
Always. Send questions if you got them.
Yeah, send us some more. I haven't gotten any yet for next week, but they normally come in on the weekend, so maybe y'all listen then. I don't know.
There you go.
All right. Well, thanks, y'all.
Bye, guys.